This show is powered by BL3P, the Lightning-enabled European Bitcoin exchange.
Connect the world.
Henrik, LNcapital, Norway.
Pink Floyd are an English rock band gaining an early following as one of the first British psychedelic groups. They became a leader in the progressive rock genre, cited by some of the greatest progressive rock bands of all time. Do you know the name Pink Floyd came from the founder and lead singer Syd Barrett's favorite Carolina bluesman Pink Anderson and Floyd Council?
No.
Every Bitcoiner should run a Lightning node.
Yes.
Did you attend the Northern Lightning Conference?
No.
Interstellar is a 2014 epic science fiction film directed and produced by Christopher Nolan. Set in a dystopian future where humanity is struggling to survive, the film follows a group of astronauts who travel through a wormhole near Saturn in search of a new home for mankind. Is it a dream to travel to space someday?
Yes.
Will the Lightning Network kill Bitcoin mining?
No.
Solo is the Scandinavian version of Fanta. Solo is known and loved all around Norway. Before the 1960s, the drink boosted greater popularity than Coca-Cola, and nowadays it prides itself on placing third in the range of the most popular Norwegian non-alcoholic drinks. Do you know the recipe was originally Spanish?
No.
Bitcoin Pizza Day marks the day that Laszlo made the first recorded purchase of a physical good using Bitcoin. He spent 10,000 Bitcoin to purchase 2 Papa John's pizzas on May 22nd, 2010. Did you ever pay for your favorite food pizza with Bitcoin?
Yes.
There's no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing.
No.
A Torq is a large, rigid or stiff gentleman's neck ring in metal, made either as a single piece or from strands twisted together. The great majority are open at the front, although some have hook and ring closures, and a few have mortise and tenon locking catches to close them. Many seem designed for near permanent wear and would have been difficult to remove. Did this ancient piece of jewelry inspire you?
No.
Are you Satoshi Nakamoto?
We're all yes.
Welcome to the Connect the World weekly podcast. I'm Edward.
And I'm Steph. We are ready to take you with us into the beautiful world of the Lightning Network.
Enjoy the ride. This is episode 68 of Connect the World. And this show is made possible by BL3P, our friends. So thank you guys for helping us out to connect the world and with our mission. If you also want to help out, then follow us on Twitter, subscribe at our YouTube channel. Or if you have some questions, then meet us in the Telegram groups on our website. And of course, a donation is always welcome.
Conecta el mundo.
And then the highlight of this week. It's Tag Cash. Steph, do you know Tag Cash?
Well, yeah, I know because I saw it in the script and I looked it up. But other than that, I must confess I didn't know it before. And I'm curious if Henrik knows the project.
No, I had to do the same.
Okay, great. Well,
Okay,
Edwards, the podium is yours, man.
I hope to enlighten everybody about Tag Cash. It looks interesting. I will share my screen and then I will... let's first start with telling something about it and then share my screen.
Sure.
Tag Cash is a digital wallet and payment platform that enables individuals and businesses to send and receive money, pay bills, purchase goods and services, and perform other financial transactions online. The thing where it's different is that it also offers a range of other features, including loyalty programs, online marketplaces, peer-to-peer lending, among others. And it's primarily focused on serving customers in the Philippines. But it also has a presence in other countries in Southeast Asia. And the platform is designed to be secure, easy to use, and accessible through a variety of devices, including smartphones, tablet, desktop computers. I will share my screen now. I hope I can make it interesting. And there it is. You see the website of TagCash. And the interesting thing is that we made also a login there with a group. I'm going to show you. Because it has a group accessibility. So you can make groups there. And I will show the groups later. But I also wanted to show that you can enable a TagCash wallet. And a TagCash wallet is also included if you have a group account. And you can read it, of course, on their website. So this is us logged in with a personal account. And I will change it later to the group account. But the interesting thing is you can hit groups. And there you see all groups. And groups is, it's aiming TagCash building communities. And that's the thing that I really like. Communities around content creators. So if you create something and you want to monetize, then you can use this. That's how I learned it, to build a group and then have a lot of features in there. So you can subscribe, for example, FinTech Philippines. There are some members in. You can subscribe to the group. And I also have a wallet in here. We have 250,000 sats in it.
You're rich, man.
And you can see the currency, of course, that you can change. So this is the Philippine currency. And if I change the, where was it? It was within the groups. These are recommended. I go to managed and then I switch because I have some sort of admin account. So I can change to the admin of this group. And there I see, a couple of extra features. And the interesting thing is, we posted here some things where you can, of course, comment. But you can also, that's what I wanted to show, you can also, donate sats, for example. And they have mini apps inside this as a feature. And the mini apps are, features that you can add and you can develop your own and add it later. So this is becoming, they're coming a lot more. And for example, the content library will handle podcasts, videos, and long-form articles. You can send Satoshis to each other. That's what I wanted to show if I switch to personal. Here you see the send tip button, and you can send a tip. So it's kind of the same as Zaps within Nostr, right? Yeah, Zaps in Nostr makes it really easy, of course, because you can use your own Lightning address or the thing that you can use. But this is the interesting thing is that everything is inside this platform, and it looks nice, and it has the possibility to make it. I think at this moment to make it more accessible because it's easy to use and it looks and stylish.
Groups is like it's not something what you can do on Nostr, right? So it's like a combination of Twitter, Twitter or Nostr kind of things with for instance Telegram because of the groups you can create.
Yeah, okay, cool. and Nostr is TagCash is thinking about monetization, giving a monetization range for personal group accounts and content creators. And of course, on Nostr, you're also a content creator if you see yourself as the freedom of speech and having your speech out there and making that count for something, and people can zap you. But of course, you're also the data is also from you. But here you can set membership charges. So it's more. I see it more as a tool that you can use if you have a community and you run it like a business. Then the membership charges could be interesting, or content consumption, those kind of things. I hope in the future, perhaps Nostr and these kind of solutions can merge. And can help each other out. So it's interesting to to see.
To follow.
Yeah,
Cool.
indeed.
Cool,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's continue.
Connect
Yeah,
o
let's
mundo.
give our guest Henrik a proper welcome, man.
Great that
Welcome,
you're with us. Yeah.
Hey, how many Bitcoin did you pay? If you don't want to say, you can just keep it for yourself, of course. But for how many Bitcoin did you buy a pizza then? Not 10,000, I hope.
I don't remember. It was at a conference. I had no idea.
No idea. But was it on with Bitcoin, like on-chain transaction, or was it using Lightning?
It was actually Lightning.
Okay. So it wouldn't be more than a couple. No, it wouldn't even be one Bitcoin, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, happily not. Yeah, it wasn't that early.
But it still can be one of the most valuable pizzas you ever eaten. So
Definitely in a few years.
What I loved about
it already is most likely the most expensive pizza I ever bought. So
yeah, but did you had the spend and replace strategy, or?
actually, at that time, I don't think I did.
Oh man, that's painful.
Yeah, that's why
I always make sure to spend and then replace, because I love to spend my Bitcoin. It's the best thing there is. Obviously, when using your own node, it's even better, the experience and the feeling that gives. But I always make sure to almost instantly buy back the sets I just paid. So
yeah, that's a great idea to do, Steph. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that Laszlo, the guy from the pizzas, also ordered pizzas at first when Lightning was really a novice thing?
Oh, really?
Yeah, really,
Oh, I
really.
didn't know,
Back
man.
in the days, he also ordered pizzas through Lightning. Yeah.
So he made the same mistake
Yeah.
2 times in a row.
Yeah, because
Didn't learn the
back
first
then, well, one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin, right?
Yeah,
Steph?
man. Hey,
That's true.
you didn't attend the Northern Lightning Conference, Henrik. How come, man? Because it's in your the country you live in.
It's in Bergen, so it takes quite some time to go there, and I really want to go, but it just no time.
Didn't
Okay.
fit. Yeah.
That's a pity, because I can imagine that I think it was one of the first more serious conferences in Norway, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think probably the first real Bitcoin conference.
That's great. Great to
Except
see.
for Oslo Freedom Forum, which is
Oh yeah.
coming quite a.
That's great
Yeah,
that they're upcoming these conferences in a lot of places where they weren't. So I think it's good that a lot of more people can listen to the stories and see the tech involved. So
Mhm. And I was also laughing because I did my research obviously, and then I saw LNcapital and I saw Torq.
yeah.
So I was googling what does Torq mean, and it turns out that it is like an ancient piece of jewelry. So I was like, well, yeah, are those connected to each other? So I thought well, maybe, but what inspired you to where does the name Torq come from then, Henrik?
Actually, from the word torque, as in like the measurement of rotational force in electrical engines.
Okay.
It's also a type of electrical engine that can sort of very precisely move.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so
Torq. Yeah. With
So I think,
QUE. Yeah.
So then a note to myself is to not go with the first Google hit when I search for a name or something. Maybe do some more research, because obviously your explanation is way more making way more sense than mine.
Yeah, I should have checked though what all the meetings it has.
Yeah, it can be something really weird, right?
Well, I see also
exactly.
Torq Electric. It's a business.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, there you have it.
Whatever word you make up in the world, there's always something.
Yeah, of course.
The same thing.
Yeah.
Sure. But maybe those guys are a big, how do you say it, an Ethereum validator or something, you know? And then people are confusing the two of you. And then, that would be pretty nasty.
Lots of
Luckily,
coming.
Yeah.
Oh, great, man. Hey, good to have you on the show, Henrik. Really looking forward to the talk. Maybe can you walk us through your professional journey leading up to becoming the CEO of Lightning LNcapital? Maybe you can also tell us what LNcapital is for the people who don't know you guys, and what are some key experience that brought you into the founding of LNcapital?
Yeah, sure. So first, LNcapital is we're building tools and so software for the Lightning Network industry, where we're building low-level technical tools for node operators, so large operators. So my career started basically as a market analyst. I moved on into development because it's much more fun to develop things, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so after a while, a few years, I joined Arcane Crypto, which is, I think, recently renamed to K33.
33,
So I was the CTO there, and I'm part of building that up as a founding team. And
Cool.
After a while there, I wanted to continue my journey into Lightning and started playing around with routing nodes, and realized that there were a severe lack of professional tools that could handle large volumes reliably.
Cool, man.
Yeah,
and founding LNcapital, of course. And I saw, a lot of our people of our audience are running their own Lightning node because we also manage the Satoshi Radio Rings of Fire community, obviously. So that's what I like, because we also have a lot of people from different communities or projects like Bitcoin Beach or Bitcoin Lago, for instance. But this is an episode for people who are running a node, can be very interesting. So really looking forward to the talk to you. We prepared a lot of questions, but it had to be in the 21 minutes, Henrik. So we would really love to enter that part, but not when you're ready, of course. So are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's do it.
Verbinden die Welt.
And of course, let's start with Torq and LNcapital as a subject. At LNcapital, you're working on Torq. It's a tool designed as the ultimate Lightning management tool, which a lot of our users would really like, I think. It's very user-friendly with the interface. And how did the development of Torq came about, and what was the motivation behind creating this open source tool?
Yeah, so the user interface early on for node management tools were mostly terminal-based or simple web interfaces. And most importantly, it was sort of running all these small scripts on the server and jumping into UI that could do some things, but not everything. And then also when it became really slow once you have more channels, and that sort of inspired me to build something there, because I saw the need and lack of that in the market. So whatever I start doing, I end up sort of doing business out of it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Cool, man. So you really solved a problem for yourself, I can imagine.
Yeah, that's what I set out to do, and now it's growing bigger than that as well. And Lightning Network has grown so much as well that like my routing node, which at one point was fairly large, is now just tiny compared to everything else.
Yeah, but now the big shots are also entering the space, right? So it's tricky, man.
Exactly.
And Torq helps promote wider adoption of the Lightning Network, just because it's simplifying the complexity of powerful tools. This makes it suitable for both novice and the more advanced users. Do you target a specific group of users, like individual users or businesses more, or is this not important for you?
We're primarily targeting large companies and large node operators, but we're trying to keep the interface as simple as possible. And there are some terms, sort of Lightning-specific terms in there, but other than that, we're trying to keep it as simple as possible that anyone can jump in and use it. And so we're seeing a lot of usage as well from smaller nodes, because they want professional tools.
Yeah, because you also, sorry, Edward, but you are available at the Umbrella App Store, obviously, and I can imagine that the larger nodes aren't using a software piece like Umbrel, but a lot of people from our community are, because it's so easy to get onboarded and to start running your Lightning node. So, but are those people also, how can I say, giving you other insights than you would expect from your audience, or?
Yeah, they do. The use cases are a bit different, but they're great at pointing out, especially UI quirks and stuff that needs to be much better.
Yeah.
So it's an important user group as well.
Perfect.
And I was thinking, because of the story of businesses and consumers, there are also some businesses that have more than one node, so they have a bunch. Is that different, or to manage it from one console, or is it just the same for you?
So trying to build Torq we have built Torq to manage multiple nodes. So you can aggregate them all together and see the stats together, and you can also update all the different nodes in the same view without having to switch between them in any way.
Well, seeing the stats together, that's of course very interesting, because then you have an oversight, and perhaps geographically that you see, well, I have this liquidity in Europe and this in Africa or something. Can you explain the underlying architecture of Torq and how it interfaces with the Lightning Network?
So yeah, we set out to have the ability to see the stats of your node at any point in time. So you can move through backwards in time. So to do this, we started with Timescale DB in Postgres and building the underlying engine that basically just connects to LND. Yep. Soon we'll also connect to CLN and LDK, and then just stores all the data coming in real time. And this makes it possible to have this time series database and jump through back and forth. So it's the back end is built in Go, and the front end is built in React. Yeah. But we also had a high focus on UI flexibility, so we built without the CSS framework, and we built the charting library from scratch, as well as the automation UI as well from scratch.
And is it then difficult for you guys to also be able to implement into to see Lightning, to core Lightning, or because you're now only on LND? Is it difficult for you guys, or is it just the software is just easy to convert to that Lightning instance?
No, we're refactoring a bit now in preparation for CLN, but still we have a set of functions specific to LND, and we have an interface on top of that, so we can basically, the rest of the application just calls the same functions to subscribe to or get data from CLN.
Okay, cool. And Torq optimizes the routing process for transactions on the Lightning Network. How does this work, and what techniques are used to achieve this?
Actually, it's less about optimizing the routing for the node operator. It's more about giving them the insight into what's happening with their node, so they can react to channels that are less than optimal. They can also automate opening, closing soon, and moving liquidity with rebalances and fee policies, etc. They can also sort of categorize channels. But we will expand upon this soon, especially diving into payment stability and as well exploring routes that have been taken.
Okay, cool.
And do you also have some payment providers, payment processors that you help with node management? So for example, the bigger ones.
So we're in dialogue with some, but I'm not going to go into that at the moment.
Okay. No,
it's
of
classified.
course.
It's classified, that one.
But that was interesting. I was thinking, well, this it sounds really great. So I can only imagine that it can really help those endeavors which have a lot of capacity that's moving around. Or liquidity, and it needs to be managed easy. So I can only imagine that it could really help. And talking about liquidity, automating channel fees and rebalancing makes running a Lightning node super easy. And we know some of the bigger node operators within the communities claim to only do manual channel management, or they still do it or are thinking of changing. But do you believe Torq can do it better? And if so, why?
Yeah, definitely. So I guess a lot of the larger nodes do it manually because they have to or had to. The tools, especially a year ago, weren't able to handle large nodes. And also swiftly switching on channel policy or the fee for the channel creates more problems and solutions for these nodes without being able to see what's going on. So I talked to some large operators as well who just set the fee very low and hope that everybody else that has a channel with them sort of stabilizes the liquidity to them. And of course, that's because they can't see what's going on with the node. So automating as well is then very dangerous.
Yeah.
But with Torq, you can automate things in a way where the stuff you do manually is very easy to automate by tagging channels or just automating very specific channels and actions on them.
Okay. Yeah.
And how does Torq ensure compatibility with various wallets and exchanges and third-party services? And what measures have been taken to promote seamless integration?
So Torq is not a consumer software wallet, so it doesn't need a lot of the LNURL and these types of things. So it's really just a management tool on top of the other basics, so LND, CLN implementations of Lightning. So I think it's a bit less relevant, other than we're going to support all the aspects of Lightning clients.
Yeah, indeed. And what were the key technical challenges faced during the development of Torq, and how did you address these issues, perhaps in making it compatible with the more Lightning instances, for example?
It's a good question. I mean, there's always challenges.
Collecting data, for example, could be challenging.
Yeah, that's true. And we had because there's so many different data streams and things happening coming into the Lightning node, collecting all of them, and also dealing with the node going down and up again, or Torq shutting down and starting up again. Resubscribing in every case and all that has taken a ton of time, but we're starting to get that to a level that I think is very hard to reproduce.
Cool. And are there any scalability limitations or bottlenecks that Torq might face as the Lightning network continues to grow and evolve, and obviously the masses adopting it?
I mean, yeah, there's phases of it. I think one of the main challenges for adoption of Lightning is that we need to see an even bigger improvements in on and off ramps, so that people can exchange dollars into Bitcoin, send it over, and hopefully people don't exchange this back again. But still, some people need to do that as well. So having that really smooth and streamlined is, I think, it's an important factor.
And are there also any plans to extend Torq's functionality to other second layer solutions, like, for example, RGB or Taro? So if you're looking at digital assets, some say that this could really change the Lightning network, the usability, but also the capacity in it. Do you think that Torq may also be a solution if that's the case?
Yeah, and we need to constantly see where the market is going and evolve with the market. If it's moving into that direction, we need to jump on it. And I think right now it's still very early in some of those areas.
Is. Yeah. You see the Iris wallet that was new to really make it visible that it's possible. So perhaps in the upcoming years, it becomes more and more important, and then it's good to evolve, of course, with your product. Yeah,
I'm also thinking, because for a lot of node operators from within our community, obviously, but also the PlebNet community, for instance. Making informed decisions is very important for those node operators. And Torq provides users with real-time insights into the performance of their channels and the overall health of the Lightning Network, and obviously how their node is doing. And can you elaborate on some of the metrics that Torq gives that are the most useful for node operators?
Yeah, there's a lot to cover there. We have, there's a few interesting ones. So you can see the channel balance over time, for example. So you can see channels that are constantly struggling with low inbound or outbound. And you can see how the changes to that affect the channel. For example, if you change the fee, how does that affect the routing volume, and how does that stabilize the channel liquidity? So that's one. Another one is that, you can see the turnover of a channel. So you can see how frequently the channel is used. Mm-hmm. So, for example, let's say the channel is 1 million sats, and it routes 10 million satoshis in a month, and the turnover is 10. So that can be an indicator that channel might be too small.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. And does it also give you insight about, this is my strategy, I want to grow, or I want to have a better connection somewhere, that it gives you some tips from other channels, that other nodes that you can make a channel with, open a channel?
So currently we don't do that where we have automatic channel recommendations. Yeah. So router, LN router app, and these do that, but it's not a focus for us now.
Okay, some prediction that it can make. Yeah. And are there any other development efforts within LNcapital to further improve Torq's functionality, efficiency, or compatibility with future upgrades? We talked a little bit about the upgrades that could be upcoming. Do you have your own short list of efforts that you want to make?
Yeah, sure. Right now, CLN support is high on our roadmap. It's been a very requested feature. So we're starting that now. But we're also diving into payment debugging, so seeing what's going on when payments fail, for example. We're also improving the support for multiple nodes and how you interact with multiple nodes at once, especially geared towards automation, where you can send liquidity between them.
Cool. Yeah. For LNcapital, Torq is like a part of LNcapital. And are you guys also planning to maybe start other projects? So aside from the Lightning node management, are your plans also to maybe have another project within the Lightning network?
Nothing I can go into right now, though.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but I was also thinking, because there are a couple of roles, right? You can be a merchant, or you are a payment processor. So those are in need of specific strategies. So perhaps a merchant wants, of course, instant liquidity without opening channels him or herself. Are you also perhaps thinking about, a solution where you can just paste the management tool on top of your node, and then you can just go with your strategy and making it usable in that way?
Actually, not.
Okay.
It's not part of the product we're building. I see a lot of other people are building it, but we're targeting a different user.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. Okay, man. And I would really love to know some of your vision on the Lightning network as a whole, and would really love to know what your first experience was with the Lightning network. Can you tell us something about it?
Yeah, it was sort of mind blown when I first discovered it. At the time, I was still sort of dabbling in lesser coins, and I realized sort of that there's no competition when Lightning enters the scene. So it was like January 2019, and setting up my first Lightning node was incredible. It was just seeing Bitcoin work in a different way and seeing how this network is growing over time. It's incredible.
Yeah, and did you pay something right away, or was it just you spinning up your node? I assume it was building up really your own node using command line, because there weren't any software packages available by then. But did you also? How long did it took for you to do your very first transaction? And what was it that you buy?
Actually. So I think I bought like stickers or something. And even that was hard at the time. But setting up the node was incredibly hard. I mean, it's I had like a Raspberry Pi hard drive, followed the Raspi Bolt guide or something, and it just crashed the hard drive multiple times. It was just like it's a lot easier today with Umbrella for the first node.
No.
We prepared also some extra Lightning questions that I wanted to ask. What do you think are the current biggest limitations and trade-offs in the Lightning network, and what could be done to fix it?
I mean, the problem we're working on is, large node operators need proper tools to be able to operate. If you have let's say if you have $1 million in capacity on your node, that's a lot of money to just be standing around. So you want to make that as efficient as possible, preferably reduce the amount of money in order to process the same amount of payments or forward the same amount of money. That's maybe the major problem. That's why we're addressing it.
Mm-hmm. And how do you see the Lightning network evolve then in the coming years? And what is the role for LNcapital in that growth?
I mean, we're going to be a standard of node management.
Okay, cool.
Okay, awesome.
And I think the network is just going to grow like crazy.
Yeah.
So you're also going to onboard all the more traditional banks using the Lightning network. That's your goal.
So
Absolutely.
If you could give some advice to institutional players that are really anxious to start, what would you say to convince them to going into the Lightning space and starting with setting up Lightning node in the most safe way? Because I can imagine that those enterprises are really anxious about starting it.
Yeah, I mean, they need to jump into this early because it takes a lot of time to learn all the different aspects of Lightning. And of course, all the security questions, they have experts to answer sort of how to set up servers like that securely. But understanding liquidity and how the Lightning network works is something that just takes a bit of time. Yeah,
and if you're in it now, then you're ahead of the competition,
exactly.
Right? Yeah,
it's
indeed.
a major competitive advantage to know this.
Yeah. And do you think that the small node operators, for instance, me, Edward, we're also running a node, obviously, and I think you also are running one personally. Do you think we still are able to survive then if all those big parties are entering the space and getting all the liquidity towards them?
Yeah, I think so. It's of course it's easier if you're a large node. You have sort of like gravitational effect, but there's two sides to it. One is that you can earn a bit of money if you're good at it. Secondly, it's a lot about learning. So if you understand, you run the node over time, you know a lot about the network, you know a lot about Lightning, you have a really good chance of working for the larger companies. Bitcoin-only companies running Lightning nodes, for example. And I think there's a lot of people out there who's dreaming about escaping sort of the fiat job and going into
yeah. It will be great. Yeah. Cool,
so all our other questions, we must ask them another time. Would be great if you come back then. So thanks again.
Definitely.
Thanks.
Thanks, Zane.
Conecte o mundo.
Yeah, we still have one question left for you, Henrik.
Yeah.
It's part of the lightning bingo we play. And you can choose one from Romain Rouvel. He's from LN Markets. From Albert Bu. He's from Neutron Pay. They just had the Lightning Conf in Vietnam. And from Mike Jarmus, and he's from Lightning Ventures. Which one will you...
Romain?
Yeah, Romain Rouvel.
Romain.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
There it comes. Yeah.
My question for you is, will Lightning capacity reach 10,000 Bitcoin this year?
Ooh.
Ooh, hard one.
We're now at 5,500
so,
or
yeah.
something. Oh, you think
5,000.
you would think we will
Really?
reach the 10,000?
Yeah, I think we can.
Oh,
Okay.
crazy, man.
And we
Bullish.
recorded this with Romain, I think, beginning of this year. So so he means this year. He really
Yeah,
means this year.
2023. Yeah, and Henrik thinks it will. So
Okay. Let's
Noted.
note it. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Connect the world.
Thanks, Henrik.
Thanks again.
For the nice interview, man. And yeah, I'm curious, where can people follow you? Can you maybe share your Twitter or whatever you like, or websites? You obviously can be found in the Umbrella App Store, so there can also people look for LNcapital and Torq, obviously. But maybe you can share some more.
Yeah, definitely. So on Twitter, it's LN_capital. And yeah, my own Twitter handle is OH Skogstrøm. So it's hard to remember, hard to pronounce. But yeah, and then ln.capital is the website. And on there and on Twitter, you see the link to Torq if you want to install it yourself. And of course, Umbrella is one-click install. So
Yeah,
go ahead and
perfect.
try it out.
So, well, to everybody else, thanks for listening. And thanks to all members participating in the Satoshi Radio Rings of Fire. And of course, thanks to everyone helping to connect the world with us. If you like our content, then please support us in our mission. Visit our website, connecttheworld.live, where you can also donate and subscribe, like, and share our content on your favorite platform. We need you to complete our mission, connect the world. So keep those nodes running, sats flowing, and rings burning. And see you all next week on the same Lightning channel. Aloha, Henrik.
Ha, Deborah.
Hello.